The holographic projection flickered to life in the United Nations Security Chamber, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of Earth's assembled leaders. Alvin Carter, the youngest chief of planetary defense at 32, stood rigid as the towering form of Onez materialized before them, a crystalline being from the Valorian hegemony, its faceted body refracting light into 1,000 dancing colors. "Humans of Earth," Onez's voice resonated through their neural implants, bypassing the need for translation. "The Galactic Council has deliberated. Your species has been deemed incompatible with civilized space." Alvin's jaw clenched. Around him, diplomats shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The message had been expected, but hearing it delivered with such cold finality sent ice through his veins. Onez continued, its crystalline fingers interlacing in what their xenopsychologists had identified as a gesture of finality. "Your military installations must be dismantled within 72 standard cycles. Your fusion reactors decommissioned. Your aerospace capabilities surrendered. The Council has spoken. Compliance is not negotiable." "And if we refuse?" The question came from Secretary General Amara Okonkwo, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. The alien's form pulsed with what might have been amusement. "Then the full might of 6,000 member civilizations will reduce your world to compliance. We have pacified 314 species. You would be unremarkable in your defeat." The projection vanished, leaving only the harsh LED lighting of the chamber. Silence. Then chaos. Alvin pushed through the arguing officials, making his way to the secure elevator that would take him 7 levels down to the Crisis Response Center. His mind raced through scenarios, contingencies, the impossible mathematics of survival. Humanity had been in space for barely 2 centuries. Their fastest ships could reach Mars in 3 weeks. The Galactic Council had vessels that could cross solar systems in hours. The CRC hummed with desperate activity. Holographic displays showed the positioning of the Council's enforcement fleet, over 2,000 warships, each one capable of glassing a continent. They hung in orbit beyond the moon, a floating armada of judgment. "Options?" Alvin demanded, sliding into his command chair. Dr. Sarah Chen, head of Xenotechnology, looked up from her console, exhaustion etched into her features. "We've been running simulations for 6 hours. Every conventional scenario ends with Earth's annihilation within 12 hours of hostilities." "Show me the unconventional ones." Sarah hesitated, then brought up a file marked with 16 different security clearances. "Project Ones." Alvin blinked. "You named a black project after their diplomat?" "We started it 3 years ago when they first made contact. Seemed ironic at the time." She pulled up schematics that made Alvin's breath catch. "We've been reverse engineering every piece of alien technology we could get our hands on. Their shields, their weapons, their propulsion systems, all based on quantum entanglement at scales they never bothered to secure properly. They underestimated us. Profoundly." Sarah's smile was sharp as broken glass. "They've been spacefaring for 50,000 years. They've forgotten what it means to innovate under pressure, to fight for survival. They've been administrators for so long, they've forgotten how to be warriors." Alvin studied the data scrolling across his vision. "These quantum disruptor missiles? They'll work?" "Theory says yes. But Alvin, deploying them means war. Real war. Not the sanitized pacification they're planning. If we fire these weapons, thousands will die on both sides." "And if we surrender?" Sarah's expression darkened. "You've read the reports on the other pacified species. Neutered, reduced to client states, their culture, their autonomy, their future all gone. They don't destroy civilizations, Alvin. They hollow them out and wear them like puppets." The weight of 8 billion lives pressed down on Alvin's shoulders. He thought of his daughter, barely 6 years old, who wanted to be an astronaut. He thought of humanity's cathedrals and symphonies, its art and mathematics, its bloody history of fighting tyranny at impossible odds. Prepare the missiles, he said quietly. The next 72 hours passed in a blur of preparation. Manufacturing facilities across Earth churned out quantum disruptors. Every nation contributed their nuclear arsenals, retrofitted with the new technology. Civilian transports were converted to missile boats. Every satellite, every space station became a weapons platform. Onez returned as promised, its crystalline form appearing once more in the UN chamber. "Your compliance window has closed. Have you prepared for surrender?" The alien never finished its sentence. Alvin gave the order from the CRC, his voice carrying to every military installation on Earth and in orbit. Fire. 3,000 missiles launched simultaneously, their quantum warheads armed and locked onto the enforcement fleet. The alien ships, so confident in their superiority, hesitated for 3 crucial seconds, time enough for the missiles to enter their defensive perimeter. The quantum disruptors activated, and space itself screamed. The alien shields, designed to deflect conventional weapons, offered no protection against weapons that unraveled the quantum entanglement their technology depended on. Ships began tearing themselves apart as their own systems cascaded into failure. Antimatter containment fields collapsed. Fusion reactors went critical. In 17 minutes, the greatest military fleet in known space became an expanding cloud of debris. Onez's projection flickered, its crystalline form cracking with what might have been disbelief. "Impossible. You are a young species. You should not—" "Should not what?" Alvin interrupted, standing to face the alien. "Should not fight back? Should not defend our home? You've been comfortable for so long, you forgot what desperation breeds. We've spent our entire history fighting impossible odds. This is just another Tuesday for humanity." The projection destabilized further. Onez's voice came through distorted. "The Council they will send more. Then we'll destroy them too. And we'll keep destroying them until you understand. Earth is not for sale, not for surrender, and certainly not for pacification. Tell your council that humanity has cast its vote. We choose defiance." The hologram vanished. In the CRC, exhausted personnel began to cheer. But Alvin raised his hand for silence. "This isn't over. Ready every facility. If they come back, we need to be prepared to fight a war across the stars." Sarah approached, her expression somber despite their victory. "You realize what we've started?" "A war we can't afford to lose," Alvin replied, watching the debris field on the monitors. "But at least it's our war, fought on our terms. That's worth everything." Above Earth, the wreckage of the enforcement fleet drifted in silent testimony to a fundamental truth the Galactic Council had forgotten. Some species don't surrender. Some species don't kneel. And humanity, for all its flaws, had never learned how to give up. The galaxy would learn to respect that, or it would learn to fear it. Either way, Earth would remain free.